Hello my fellow golf ball addicts. A little bit of change up in the content today. Today I am going to be testing out a club. It is actually a 3-wood and it is the Paradym AI Smoke from Callaway Golf. Now there is a particular reason I am doing this review. I have actually partnered with Next Round Golf. Next Round is a wonderful site that sells used clubs, which I know we're all about value on this channel. And so look, we save money on golf balls all the time. Why can't we save money on clubs too? So when they reached out, I love what they were about. I love what their mission was. And they offered basically to send us a 3-wood, which if you remember, a lot of you were really disappointed that the hybrid was discontinued from this year's reviews. So there were a lot of people who were like, well, hey, why don't you use a 5-wood instead? So what I did was I had them send me a fairway wood that could be adjusted. But here's another question, right? They send me this club, it's nice, it's sexy, it's new. The real question is, can it go in my bag? So that's what we're gonna test. All right, now the 3-wood that I have been testing this whole time is essentially a Cleveland Turbo Launcher HB, and you know that might surprise some of you, but there is a reason that I have kept this club. As you can see, it has been used. It's definitely been through the ringer. The reason I haven't switched is because I just can't give it up. I love this thing. This thing's a rocket launcher. I got it like 4 years ago. It was an anniversary present from my wife, and I mean, I just can't. I've gotten new irons, I've gotten new driver, wedges, putter, everything in the bag, but I refuse to let this thing go. So is it time for an upgrade? Probably. So we're gonna see if this Paradym AI Smoke can outdo it. Now they said this was in excellent condition when I looked at it online, so let's take a look. I mean, there's some minor scratches in there, but boy, it looks really good on top there. I don't see anything there. Looking on the actual face, there's some markings on top. Look like whoever had it, maybe it just wasn't the club for them, but the middle of the face is pristine, perfect, I love it. Looking on top, again, no scratches, fantastic. Wow, yeah, that's definitely in excellent condition. Nothing on the grip, nothing on the shaft, everything looks good there. I will say it's a Golf Pride grip, not exactly the type of grip I would normally have, but grip's one of those things where it's really difficult to get a grip from a used club that's exactly how you want. Most of the time you're gonna have to switch that out. So I'll probably switch this for something thicker, but so essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few shots with each club. Essentially off the deck, I'm gonna do about my 10 best with both clubs, and then I'm also gonna put it on a small tee to see if I wanted to tee up what the max distance I can get from that is as well. For this test, I will be using the PXG Extreme Tour X, and for a good reason. It was my #1 golf ball of 2024. If you guys are new to the channel here, I normally review golf balls. We've created a wonderful community here. We'd love to have you a part of it, but we are all golf ball addicts here, and this was my #1 golf ball for a reason. This thing's a rocket launcher, just like my Cleveland HB Turbo. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for mainly, is distance with a 3-wood. So this is a great ball to test with. I have a Flight Scope Mevo Plus that I'm using for the data, so let's dive right in here. All right. Old trusty here, looking good, feels great in the hands. I love that club. Now I'm going to hit the AI Paradym Smoke. Now one benefit this already has over my Cleveland is it's fully adjustable. So it's 15 degrees standard, but you can bump that up by 1 or 2, and you can also minus it. You can put a draw bias on it. Then you also have a neutral. You can open the face, you can close the face a little bit for a draw bias. Now I'm actually going to leave it in the open face setting because I do, as you guys know, have a natural power draw, and that does come out with my 3-wood. So this does get that added bonus of having a little bit of an open face, and I can already tell it is a little open. So excellent, that's gonna help me a lot. So now let's rip this bad boy. This thing feels like, I mean, it feels like I have a lot of power in my hands. I can definitely tell it's premium for sure. There's a reason Callaway has built a reputation off of their woods lately. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but it does feel like I can rip this one a little faster. I don't know if maybe the shaft is just a little lighter. I'll have to check here in a second, but it definitely feels like I'm getting some more club head speed. Oh, off the toe. Not bad for a miss hit. All right, so now we're gonna run it back and we're gonna do another one, but like I said, with the tee. That way, if I wanted to use this like on a tee as a driver a little bit on a shorter course or something, I'll use both of those and see if I get different results. All right, a little different here, kind of driver style, just a little bit of off the tee here. Might have overswung on that one a little bit. Maybe I just need to, it's kind of hot out here. Relax, Nick, relax, bud. So something I never noticed about the Cleveland, I never paid attention to the feel really, and after my first initial test, I still thought the Cleveland felt better, maybe because I was used to it. No, after side by side and switching back and forth, the Callaway definitely has a beat on feel, so I give the advantage there for sure. Now let's do the tee test with Callaway. I think the Callaway is going to blow it away, but we'll see. So the first hit was a miss hit, and it was a fade, and it's my longest yet. So this is about to be nasty, ladies and gentlemen. This is about to be nasty. What's hilarious is my all-time swing speed record, so how fast I'm swinging the club, with a driver is like 103.1, I think. Like I've been trying to build my speed. I just hit 104 with this. So that kind of leads me to believe that I might need to make my driver a little shorter or something, because I'm not able to swing it as fast. And if that's the case, I'm losing out on distance. So interesting. Just rocketed, I mean, just smashed. Oh my Lord. 105 swing speed, 149.9 on your ball speed. That's insane for a 3-wood. I'm seriously considering just putting my driver away and just carrying this thing. The accuracy difference, even if I lose 5 yards on a perfect pure drive compared to this to my driver, the accuracy is gonna more than make up for it. So, like I said, I think this is gonna be a bloodbath, but we'll find out here. This has been phenomenal so far. Oh, baby, be good. Ridiculous, ridiculous. Yeah, lost my microphone in the progress. That thing was smoked. All home run celebrations aside, this thing feels phenomenal. The numbers are ridiculous. I can't wait to go inside and see these. Let's go analyze these. All right, so a couple of things here. I'm excited to get to these data numbers, but there was a couple things I noticed before I even went in and dived into the data. One, I could swing the Callaway a lot faster. I don't know if it was slightly lighter when I feel both of them. It does feel like the head is definitely more like a carbon. I don't know if it's made of carbon or not, but it feels lighter. It definitely does feel like I could get a little bit of extra swing speed, and I noticed that. So that was really all I could tell. I did like the feel a little bit better, but let's see if those actually turned into any numbers or not. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So let's compare the turf. So hitting it off the turf first. Between the Cleveland, 219.3 compared to 227. So I mean, that's huge. That's a difference in 8 yards. That's awesome. 229.1 compared to 237. Again, another 8 yards. That's fantastic. 98 swing speed, it looks like, compared to 95.2. So like I said, I was swinging the Callaway a little faster just because of how light it was. Then also looking at 147.1 compared to 142.6. That's an extra almost 5 mile an hour of ball speed. Spin, Callaway spun a little more, which on a 3-wood I don't hate. You know, I'm getting so much distance with it. 1.49 and 1.5. So Cleveland had a little bit better of a smash factor, but I mean, both of those are absolutely incredible when it comes to that. 10.9 and a 10.3 on the launch. So Callaway did launch a little bit lower. So, you know, but you know, what's interesting about that is that I can alter the Callaway. You know, if I look at those numbers, I can say, okay, you know what, I'll bump it up a degree or bump it up another degree, and I could get, you know, 16, 17 degree instead of 15, whereas my Cleveland, I don't have that option. So that's interesting. That's really interesting that that's an extra 8 yards. That's huge. And I know it's huge because a lot of you, when it comes to the golf ball side, there's a lot of you that'll fight and say, oh, an extra 2 or 3 yards, that's, oh, you got to have it. And it's like, if 2 or 3 yards excites you, 8 definitely has to be high on your radar. So that's really significant. The fact that I could take another club, put it in my bag, and boom, gained 8 yards from the rip just like that. So that's awesome. Let's also look at off the tee here. And as you can see there, off the tee, Cleveland 229.5 compared to Callaway 240.1. That is almost 11 yards difference. That is huge. I mean, that's fantastic. I did not realize it was going to be that different. 236.9 compared to 246.7, 104 compared to 101. So again, I was able to swing a little faster now that it's off of a tee, and that 104 is faster than I swing a driver. Hand to God, that's crazy that I'm getting that much swing speed out of it. 148.2, 142.5. So I mean, again, another 5-mile-an-hour ball speed difference. The Callaway did spin a little bit more, but you know, I mean, I don't mind that considering the numbers I'm getting. 15.2 on the launch compared to 16.2. So again, Callaway launched a little low. I could absolutely, you know, change that if I needed to. So, you know, wow. That's significant. 11 yards of carry, 9 yards of total distance. What's crazy about this is I say it all the time. Golf is an experimental game. Yes, you want to create muscle memory. Yes, you want to create good habits. Yes, all that's true. But there are times you want to experiment. There are times you want to go out and say, okay, what can I make happen? Or what can I change about my game? And you need to open your mind. This is one of them. I have struggled with this for a while now of thinking like, do I really need a driver? You know, and I understand that that's a cop-out. And I understand a lot of you are going to be like, oh yeah, you're 3-wood off the tee. But you got to understand, sometimes it works better for your game. That's why these mini drivers are becoming really popular. But I swing the Callaway 3-wood, the AI Smoke, faster than I've ever swung a driver. I also hit it farther than I have with my driver. I actually, one of the, you know, let me pull this up here. This was one of the shots I hit, a nice little power fade you can see there, but 246.1, 107 club speed. I mean, that's by far a record for club speed for me. And look at that ball speed, 151.2. I can't recall the last time I ever reached that type of ball speed. I just can't, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at this thinking, okay, if I could get the spin down a little bit, I might have actually hit 260, close to it. And my big thought is I play a lot of residential courses, so I don't play a ton of championships. So the thing is, on a championship, sure, get the driver out, you got a ton of, you know, area to miss, you got some forgiveness there, you got a lot of rough, first cut, second cut, all that stuff. But on a tight residential course, you don't have that. You have really tiny fairways. You know, it might only be 5,500 yards, 6,000 yards at the most. With that being the case, this Callaway 3-wood is all I would ever need. You know, I can get that tighter dispersion, I can get it locked in, but also the fact that I have potential to go up to 250 off the tee carry, maybe, that's significant. So this has really changed my thinking on what I need. Maybe I do need to cut my driver down, but this is the data I needed to see, and I'm really thankful. So thank you, Next Round, so much for sending me this. It's huge. It's going to be great for testing balls on the channel later in the year if we want to get some, you know, wood data, but also just for my golf game. You know, honestly, I was wondering if that Cleveland was all in my head, and that's also another great point. Sometimes a club can be in your head. Sometimes it can give you confidence to the point where you're like, well, I really don't want to switch because I'm so good with them. Yes, that can be the case, and trust me, you can learn to play some great golf with older clubs, but when you have a difference of 9 yards, that could be affecting your game. That's huge, so keep that in mind. Next Round makes it really easy to just go and get these clubs and essentially, you know, get them for a great discounted rate, and now you don't have to pay those premium prices. We're all about value here on Golf Ball Addict. Now you can get premium clubs in excellent condition, 30-day return window. I really love that a lot. So once again, guys, thank Next Round for what they did. This is awesome. This has been a great video. I will see you guys soon. As always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time.